he is gonna be one beefy dude. And not with a lot of effort too. I mean, I wish I could say that about my physique.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
But anyway, we'll talk about how a certain archetype is going to be running rampant, especially in the first week of this new season, because of this guy. But first of all, who is Sebastian Shaw? You see, he was born in poverty but proved himself a genius with a full scholarship. Now, one night while toasting his father at a local bar after his father's death, he was attacked by a bunch of jealous rich kids. It was in this attack where his mutant powers manifested, allowing him to absorb kinetic energy and releasing it against his attackers. His genius mind in the field of economics and technology allowed him to start his own business, Shaw Industries, and by the age of 40, he was a billionaire. He was invited to join the Hellfire Club, an exclusive secret society with the purpose of obtaining and exerting power through politics and economic influence, being involved in many wars and assassinations since its inception in 18th century England. Now, some of its most notable members also include Emma Frost, Selene, Magneto, and Sunspot. At one point, Shaw was even the leader of the inner circle of the Hellfire Club, going up against the X-Men on many occasions.
You want to guess what I can do?
In Marvel Snap, Sebastian Shaw is a 3-energy, 4-power card with the ability, when this card permanently gains power, gain +2 power, wherever this is. 3 cost, eh? Welcome to the Silver Surfer Club. Okay, we always joke about how if a new card is 3 cost, it has to be in a Surfer deck, right? In this case, yeah. Sebastian Shaw absolutely excels in the Surfer deck. We'll talk about why in just a bit, but let's break down his ability first, because the wording is important, okay? When this card permanently gains power, meaning ongoing cards like Blue Marvel or Cerebro will not activate his extra +2 power. Also, a location like Xandar is kind of like an ongoing. It's not a permanent power buff, so it won't work. But cards like Ironheart, Shuri, Forge, and Silver Surfer that permanently gives another card power will work. Same goes for locations like Shuri's Lab and Muir Island. This guy on Muir Island is like instant snap. We got a big one here. Now, there's also the wherever this is part of his ability, which means this ability activates even if he's in your deck or hand. So, cards like Okoye and Nakia will activate his ability, as well as locations like Wakandan Embassy. So, let's talk about synergies. Like I mentioned, cards that buff will all work towards activating his extra +2, right? Forge, Okoye, Shuri. But look at Ironheart and Nakia. 3 costs. Perfect for Silver Surfer. You're following me on this, right? I probably wouldn't use Okoye and Shuri here, but Forge definitely. He's a cheap 1 cost that can get Shaw up to 8 power. That's kinda nuts. Then you drop Surfer on the last turn, dude will be 12 power. Yeah, Surfer is definitely the way to go here. Also, a lot of these buffing cards are on reveal. And who's an on reveal card that's also 3 costs that's kinda busted right now? Werewolf by Night, even more Surfer synergy. Now, Brood is also a staple in Surfer decks, which goes well with Forge. Could be a replacement for Werewolf if you don't have him. And if you want to protect Shaw from getting Shang-Chi's or Shadow King, because he's too darn big, Cosmo is a 3 cost as well. Here's another popular combo in Surfer decks, Killmonger and Nova. And when destroying Nova, gives Shaw the +1, he gets +3 instead. I mean, you could consider using Elsa to buff Shaw, but he's got to be the last card in the lane. It's just a whole thing. It's not worth it, right? Surfer is definitely the way to go here. And this also means everybody else will be playing the Surfer archetype in the first week of the Season Pass card. So be ready for that with your Cosmos and Shadow Kings. And sure, there are all the other buff options that I mentioned earlier, so you technically don't need to run a Surfer deck to get value out of Shaw, but let's face it, the potential with Surfer is far too juicy for me to ignore. Yes, Sarah Surfer will be the first deck I play him in for sure. So is he worth the purchase? I would lean heavily towards the yes side, just because with Forge alone, you're getting him up to 3-8, right? No downside, and that's really strong value. Plus, his potential with Surfer